I think it's vitally important to kind of set the stage, though, because you're seeing a much more bellicose and aggressive China, and I think that the appearance of Australia, the United Kingdom, and the U.S. being aggressive in how they're going to play in that whole Pacific region is vital. Even if the submarines won't be delivered for a while, the fact that they are coming, I think, sends a pretty loud message to China.
Explain to us, obviously, geographically, San Diego, I suppose, is kind of in the middle of the three countries, but just explain to us, why this meeting is happening there. We've seen pictures overnight of Mr Albanese and Mr Sunak rolling up their sleeves and sitting down for an informal dinner. And we're expecting that big trilateral meeting with the president joining them this evening.
Yeah, and I think it's really important in particular for President Biden and Prime Minister Sunak to meet. Our U.S. and U.K. relations are always going to be firm and strong because of the relationships between the countries and the peoples. But we're always better off when there's a relationship, a personal relationship between the Prime Minister and the President. And I don't think President Biden and Prime Minister Sunak really have any kind of personal relationship. I think this is a great opportunity to kind of build that platform. And then I expect that, as is so often the case with American presidents, when things aren't going well at home, they like to travel on the world stage so that they look more presidential, even when things are disastrous, many of them self-inflicted by the Biden administration here at home. But I think you're also going to see President Biden make the trek to England for King Charles' coronation, because, again, that puts him on a world stage and will be another opportunity for he and Sunak to establish a really firm relationship that will be important going forward.
Steve, I'm guessing we're going to see him around Easter time as well for the Anglo-Irish agreement and the 25th anniversary. Just
Correct.
a guess.
Well, he likes to play his Irish roots, so I think we'll hear a lot both St. Patrick's Day this week, which is a bigger deal here usually, I think, than it is in Ireland. But I think you're going to see a lot of him. Again, you want to be on that world stage if you're a president and things aren't going well at home, because it lets you kind of surround yourself with the other world leaders and the appearance that you are in charge, whether it's true or not. Again, even internationally, you've got disasters with the withdrawal in Afghanistan, with the disaster of how the U.S. is playing in the Ukraine-Georgia conflict, when you've got the challenges with China, with spy balloons and everything else. He is not a firm player in the international stage, but hanging out with other players on the international stage makes him look stronger.
I'm assuming, aside from defence matters, there'll be some interesting sort of side meetings with President Biden and Mr Sunak in relation to the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Lots of concern over the weekend here in the UK about possible contagion, what it could mean for start-ups and tech. And I know that lots of worry in the States, but no talk of a bailout.
Yeah, I think the bailout will be targeted, and I think they're getting some signals out that the bailout will be targeted at the folks that had money in the bank, not bailing out the SVB itself. The assets of the SVB are actually very strong, and I think there will be a buyer for it, and the equity holders in that bank are likely to lose a lot. They may see some clawback of some of the money they've recently made from selling their stock. But I think that the folks that are the ones that actually had deposits in the bank will today probably get made whole to 75% of what they had in the bank. And then the balance when they sell the bank, when they claw back some of the other investment deals. But the bank actually had pretty firm assets. They had been mishandled. And again, the regulators weren't doing their job of overseeing this particular bank. And I think you're going to see probably some fallout of other banks that are similarly over-invested in bad investments. But I think that the folks that actually have money there, that need to make payroll today, that need to make payroll throughout the course of the week, a lot of startups, a lot of venture capital, that will actually be available to keep those businesses alive. And I think that may calm the markets a little bit by Tuesday.